I'm going to mute you.
Okay.
I'm going to mute you, but you can laugh as much as you want. Laughter is good. Okay. Sorry for this funky view. Is that okay? Just make sure. I'll pin myself. Actually, you guys pin me to your main screen. Are you good with that? Because I'm on my phone and it just makes me feel weird. And then I'm going to put on my headphones because I think they're better. Okay. Okay. Here we go, my friends. Let's do it. Come to a comfortable seated position. So I always like to just kind of move around before settling into my seated meditation. So get some physical feedback, move your body a little bit. Maybe it's just little tiny subtle movements or maybe bigger movements. Sometimes if I feel like I have a lot of energy inside of me, I like to just shake my body a little bit, kind of let that energy move. And then eventually, no rush, settle into stillness. So find a sense of grounding, sense of settling. Close your eyes and place your hands intentionally. So maybe on your lap, maybe at your heart, maybe one hand to your heart space, one hand to your belly. And then notice if you're holding any tension through your face. Notice if you're holding any tension through your shoulders. See if you can let your shoulders just kind of melt down away from your ears. And then start to notice the rise and fall of your breath. Start to breathe bigger and deeper. So each inhale, see if you can feel your breath travel all the way down into your belly, all the way down into your low back. And each exhale, see if you can find emptiness. So at the bottom of each exhale, navel to spine connection. So really tuning into your breath in a deeper way, slowing it down, smoothing it out. Next time you breathe in, fill up as big as you can and hold in that fullness. Sit up taller and just feel as if you take up more space energetically. When you're ready, open your mouth and take a big sigh. Do that 2 more times and use this to process whatever's inside of you. So big inhale. And if there's stress, if there's anxiety, if there's sadness, if there's anything that feels like too much, overwhelm, big exhale, let it go. So calming your nervous system with your breath intentionally. One last time, inhale, fill up. So really breathing into even the tightest areas, especially the tightest areas. Hold. And then when you're ready, open mouth sigh, let it go. Good. Seal your lips and start to drop into your Ujjayi breath. So in and out through your nose by way of the back of your throat. You can stay right here for as long as you want to. So if this is your entire practice today, just your seated meditation, intentional breathing, awesome. Totally fine with me. Whenever you're ready to move, if you want to come with me, hands and knees, and then keep your Ujjayi breath going as you start to either move through some cat-cows or maybe take some circles with your hips. Maybe move more intuitively. So anywhere you want to go from this tabletop position from all fours. Perhaps you just want to sit back into a child's pose and rest. ground. Maybe you want to come all the way forward towards cobra or up dog. Feel that stretch through your front body. So no right or wrong, just exploring your physical body with your big, deep breaths. And I'm just going to assume you guys can hear me pretty well. If you cannot, feel free to unmute yourself and say something. If I don't hear anything, I'm just going to assume all is well. Okay, cool. So hands and knees, just feeling into whatever's there, your spine, your side bodies, feeling into your hands, your fingers. Maybe you want to spin your fingers out to the sides or back towards your knees, stretch your forearms, your wrists, especially if you're on a keyboard all day long. So nice to stretch through your wrists and your fingers. Make sure as you stretch in this way, you keep spreading your fingers and actively pressing through your fingertips. Give yourself, I don't know, 2, 3, maybe up to 5 more rounds of breath, just moving in whatever way feels good. And then eventually downward facing dog is where we'll meet up. So start your transition back to down dog whenever you're ready. All right, and then once you're back in your dog pose, just feel around. Move around if you want to. Pedal out your heel, shift your hip side to side, shake your head. Yes, no, maybe so. See if you can really find a connection to your center. So I want you to focus throughout class, and I'll keep saying it. You'll probably get sick of hearing it. Focus on the connection to your center in almost every single posture and almost every single transition. So in your down dog, you guys hear me say it. If you come to my class ever, you've probably heard me say it hundreds of times. Imagine you've got a rope attached to your belly button and it's pulling up towards the ceiling and it's tugging back. So rather than feeling like all of your weight is going down into your hands, feel like your weight is being lifted up out of your hands using your core strength, using that connection to your center. So if it's helpful, bend your knees a lot, like a ton, and then really press your hips up and back. As you press your hips up and back, you should feel your belly button pull back as well. So that's your connection to center. Keep that as you work your legs towards straight, only if you want to. So in down dog, you never have to get your legs completely straight. My legs are not straight in my down dog. My heels are not on the ground. That's not what the pose is about. So let that go. Take one more big inhalation into your dog pose. Everyone lift your hips really high. Feel that connection to center, navel to spine. Exhale, gaze to the top of your mat, step, tiptoe, or hop, forward fold. Once you've arrived in your fold, find a halfway lift position. So lift halfway, back of your neck should be long. Okay, this is a little bit funky, so listen carefully. Bend your knees a lot, stick your butt way out behind you. Weight is in your heels. Crown of your head reaches forward, gaze down. Now, see if you can bring your arms either to cactus or reach them out to both sides like you have a big wingspan. Press your arms up, palms face the ground, press your chest down. Feel your back muscles engage. See if you can keep all of that and start to straighten your legs by lifting your butt and pressing back through the very, 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 very tops of your thighs. So connecting to your center. It's just like you're in down dog, but now you're standing on your feet and your arms are reaching out instead of forward. Back of your neck long, soften your face. One more inhale. Exhale, release and let it go. Oh. Root through your feet. Rise. You can roll up. You can reverse swan dive. You choose. Arms to the sky. Pause in your high mountain. So just reaching up. Turn your palms to face in and imagine you're turning your pinky fingers in towards each other. See if you can make that happen. Draw your shoulders down away from your ears a bit, and then notice if your ribs are flaring forward, draw them back, knit them together. If you're rounding your spine, bend your elbows and see if you can lengthen your spine. So how much awareness can you bring into standing right here? Feel a connection to your center. So rather than just sinking into your low back, sinking into your hips, belly button pulls in and up. So much awareness. Take one more big inhale, breathe into every space. Exhale, let your arms fall down and just shake it out. Shake, shake, shake. So not wimpy shaking, but vigorously shake for a moment. So shake your body, shake your body. Feel energy flowing through. Keep shaking. 4, 5, shake, shake, shake. 4, 3, 2, 1. Find stillness and just stand in a way that feels somewhat natural to you. But then close your eyes and tune in and see if you can bring in a little more alignment. So feeling into a neutral pelvis, that little tone through your lowest, deepest abdominals, your transverse, supporting your low back. Open through the fronts of your shoulders, broaden through your collarbones. So it feels somewhat natural, but then more embodied, more grounded. And at the same time, you feel spacious. You feel big, vast. So you're not contracting, but you're opening in some way, even if it's just energetically. And just feel that from the inside. Take a big inhale, hold, root through your feet, draw up through the crown of your head. Big open mouth sigh, let it go. Ujjayi, inhale, take your arms to the sky. Exhale from your center, swan dive down. So hinge at your hips, belly button pulls back, heart reaches forward all the way down, then release. Halfway lift, inhale. If you want, add those arms, straighten your legs only as much as you can without rounding your spine. Exhale, let it go. All right, plant your hands, step your feet back, plank. Spread your fingers, push the ground away, take an inhale. Come to your knees if you want to modify. Exhale, slowly lower, strong through your belly. Inhale, let's find just a baby cobra to begin with, so stay low. Back of your neck, long gaze, slightly down. Roll your shoulders down and back, squeeze your shoulder blades toward your spine, point your elbow tips back. With your hands, rather than pushing down, imagine you're trying to drag your body forward. So spread your fingers and pull back with your hands. Now press down through your pelvis, draw your belly button in and up. Press down through your shoelaces, try to spread your toes. Press your toenails down. So again, how much awareness can you bring into this posture that you've done a million times? Soften your face. See if you can float your hands just a millimeter above your mat. Squeeze your shoulder blades. One more inhale. Exhale, let it go. Press up to tabletop. Take a couple cat cows or a couple hip circles, whatever feels good, maybe a child's pose. Big deep breaths. Eventually downward facing dog. Bend your knees as much as you need to so that you can feel your belly button pulling in and up. Feel that connection to your center. It makes everything so much easier. So it's like taking the weight out of your joints and lifting up using your muscles, using the buoyancy of each breath. If you can stay connected to your center as you transition, everything starts to shift. So really start to just get curious about that. From your down dog, inhale your right leg to the sky. Now, make sure you keep your hips square. So if you just open your right hip, no big deal. Let's square off your hips. So right hip faces down and maybe back. Bend your left knee if that's helpful, and lift to your left tiptoes if that's helpful. Press back through your chest. Lift from your center. Straighten your right leg as much as you can. Make it powerful and strong like you're karate kicking. Take one more inhale. Exhale. Right knee to your nose. Scoop out your belly. Push the ground away. Navel to spine, and then step through softly. Low lunge position. Take a moment and just kind of move your legs in a way that feels good to you. So stretching in your own way, feeling around. It can be as simple as just closing your eyes and breathing into your legs. Visualizing your breath moving into your legs. All right, in your next couple of breaths, find your way up to crescent lunge. So front knee over front ankle, high on the ball of your back foot. This pose is not about depth, but it's just as much about stability. So pull your front hip back, back hip forward, hug towards midline. Find that connection to center in your legs, navel to spine, low back long. Lift your heart. Good. Arms to the sky. Nice job. Good, Wendy. Soften your face and then just feel for a moment. Feel your pose. Feel the stability in your legs. Feel the expansion and contraction of each big, deep breath. Focused and alert. Calm and relaxed all at the same time. Take one more inhale. Exhale, bring your hands to the ground. Root into your front foot, float your back leg to the sky, standing splits. So think of this as just a one-legged forward fold, nothing more. Doesn't have to look anything even close to the splits. You can open your left hip or you can keep it nice and square, just different, neither one's right or wrong. What I want you to feel is your connection to center. So navel to spine, rather than feeling like all of the weight is going down into your right foot. Use your core to lift up. Make your left leg strong. See if you can even get your left toes to spread. Relax your neck, shake your head, yes, no. Hands can be on the ground or fingertips on the ground to help with balance. If you can't bring your hands to the ground, use a block or something else you've got at home. Take one more inhale, really, really strong. Lift your left leg high. Exhale, set your left foot down next to right. If you want, you can give your right leg a quick little shake out. Take it back, shake it out. And then bring your big toes to touch. So your feet are next to each other, big toes touch. Little gap in between your heels. Tuck and curl. So butt towards the ground and nose towards your knees. You can lift your heels up or you can press your heels down. Either one is fine. You can play with both. If you want a balance challenge, wrap your arms around the fronts of your shins and squeeze. Good. Breathe into your back body. One more great big breath. As you exhale, find that connection to center all the way to empty. Get as compact as you possibly can. Inhale, halfway lift. Set your heels down, spine long, parallel to the earth. Exhale, fold in. From the press of your feet, lead with your heart. So reverse swan dive all the way up, arms to the sky. Big stretch. Hands to heart, exhale. All right, inhale, take your arms up. Exhale, swan dive down. No hurry. Let your breath be your guide. Inhale to a halfway lift. So really mindful movement. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step back to plank. Top of a push-up, inhale. You can bring your knees down if you'd like. Exhale, chaturanga, lower down. Start with baby cobra, just like we did before. Tons of awareness. Shoulders back and down. Press down through your pelvis, through your shoelaces. If you want to, press into your hands, lift your heart. But keep your shoulders back and down. Keep your elbow tips pointing back. Keep drawing your belly button in and up. Keep pressing through your shoelaces. So much awareness. One more inhale, shoulders down away from your ears. Exhale, release. Find your way back to down dog. You can get there however you want to. So maybe you take a couple cat-cows, couple hip circles, child's pose. Maybe you take a couple big, deep exhalations, big, huge sighs. Okie dokie. Downward facing dog if you're not already there. Inhale, take your left leg to the sky, three-legged dog. So if you want, you can open your hip real quick, but then square them off eventually. I want you to feel when you square them off, I want you to feel that hugging in of your inner thighs and that lifting from your center. If you're somebody that usually presses your right heel down towards the ground, maybe just get curious about lifting up to your right tiptoes, bending your right knee, and pressing back through your ribs, through your chest, lifting from your center. Just feel it and see how it feels. Strong through your left leg, active through your left foot. One more inhale. Exhale, left knee to your nose. So scoop out your belly, straighten your back leg on your back, tippy toes, push the ground away, breathe in, stay. Exhale, step forward, low lunge. Take a moment and just stretch your own legs. Whatever calls to you, no right or wrong, and it doesn't have to be anything fancy. You can do what you did on the other side. Maybe you have no clue what you did on the other side. You were so present in the moment. Even better. And let's rise up to crescent lunge in our next couple of breaths. Front knee over front ankle, high on the ball of your back foot. So I know it's tempting to be in a position where your back heel's almost on the ground. It's actually, in my opinion, a lot harder. It feels like it's like more safe for some reason. But if you can elongate your stance and then powerful through your back toes, pressing through the ball of your back foot, hug in. So front hip pulls back, back hip pulls forward, low abdominals tone, heart lifts. Soften your face. Breathe. So lots of stability through your legs. Feel into a unique expression of your pose in this moment through your upper body. Take one more inhale, reach, lengthen. Exhale, hands to the earth. Root into your left foot, standing splits. So right leg to the sky. Remember, it's just like a one-legged forward fold. So I don't care how high your right leg goes, lift it as high as you can. Rather than feeling like all the weight's coming down, see if you can lift from your belly button. Weight more forward in your left foot. So rather than rocking back into your heel, you might bend your left knee. Weight more in your left toes and the ball of your left foot. Relax your neck, soften your face. If there's somewhere you want to take this on your own, feel free. Breathe. Take one more huge inhale. Reach your right leg high, maybe even spread your right toes. Exhale, set your right foot down next to left, top of your mat. You can give your left leg a little shake out if you want. Big toes touch, little gap in between your heels. When you're ready, tuck and curl. So a little tiny potato bug ball. All right, this is so much fun. You're gonna love it. You can watch me first if you want. From here, we're gonna start to rock forward and back. So if you dare, you don't have to do it this way. If you're like, that seems like I'm gonna like crack my tailbone. Don't do it if you don't want. But from here, I think it's really fun. We're just gonna rock back and then start to rock and roll about, I don't know, let's go for 4 or 5 rocks. Eventually, friends, just rock up to a seated position. If you get motion sick easy, then you don't have to rock. All right, so find a comfortable seat, and this is where I'm going to do a little demonstration for our advanced yogis here in this class. Okay, so we're gonna play with crow pose, and crow pose is a lot of times I feel like the first arm balance that is taught. I think that makes sense because it's kind of the most straightforward arm balance. However, I don't think it's the easiest. I think it takes a lot of core, and if you're not using your core, it's really hard. And that's where people will practice it so much, and they'll come and they'll be like, I have these bruises on my arms from practicing crow. And it's because all of their weight is just going down into their arms, and it's a lot. So the point, the goal, the intention that I keep probably repeating like a broken record is to connect to your center and use your core to lift up rather than feeling like all the weight's going down. So for example, if you can see the difference, I hope that I'm close enough to the camera. Is this okay? Okay, so I'm going to show you, like, this is the difference of, this is going to be a crow pose with the weight going down. It's all in my arms and I feel really heavy. It's hard for me to do it even like this because it's hard to hold. It feels so heavy on my arms. So when the weight, or when I should even, it's almost like when the energy is coming up into my center, it looks very different, even coming into the pose. So you can see already I'm lifting from my center, getting my knees as high as I can. I'm coming forward and I don't feel very much weight. I mean, there's weight there, but I feel like I'm just lifting from my center. I'm doing the work, using my core strength. So my legs feel lighter rather than heavy, heavy, heavy. I like to use the example too of, like, think of a yoga mat. You're not gonna carry a yoga mat around like this, like so floppy. So you're gonna first of all roll it up, obviously. And then if you have like one band to put around it, where would you put that band? Right here in the center. So that's the same thing. That's exactly what our core is. It's like that band that kind of keeps us together and helps us to move through the world with more intention, so we're not just flopping around. So if you can figure out how to connect with that, to me, it changes like your entire practice. So when you're moving through your practice, this movement, stepping your foot forward, a lot of people, it looks like this. And they're stuck here. And they're like, I can't get my foot up. It's because they're just, all the weight's coming down. When I step forward, I'm pushing the ground away. I'm on my back tiptoes. My belly button's pulling up. Everything's lifting. And I just step through. Yes? Is that, so you see the difference of, like, boom, stuck here, or pushing away, lifting up, softly stepping through. So I know it's easier said than done, but it's just bringing that awareness into your practice, slowly having those little moments of like, oh my gosh, that one felt different. I felt my core engaged that time, that kind of thing. So enough of me. Let's play with crow pose. And does anyone have any questions? You can feel free to unmute yourself and if you have any burning questions. All good? Okay, so let's just play for a moment with crow pose. So come to, I'm gonna say a forward fold with your feet hips width distance apart or maybe a little bit wider. Bend your knees as much as you need to, so probably a lot. Bring your hands to the ground, palms to the ground. So you can walk your hands as far forward as you need to. And then start to lift your butt. So your knees are bent, but start to lift your butt up and come up to your tiptoes. See if you can walk a little bit forward, bringing your knees as close to your armpits as possible. And then when you're ready, bend your elbows, hug them in like a little shelf for your arms, or like a little shelf for your legs, I should say. Your arms are working. Chaturanga position with your arms. Lift from your center. If you're lifting from your center, automatically your big toes want to come together. Good job. And if there's the variation where you put your knees on the outsides of your arms, some people think that's easier. If you do that, rather than feeling like your knees are going out, hug your knees in as you press your arms out. So knees hug in, arms press out, kind of like this. So there's resistance there. Okay. Wendy, you're doing a lot of work for the group. I'm just like watching Wendy. I'm like, did you try it yet? Did you try? Are you still trying it? Okay. When you've had enough, as my friend James Hardy would say, when the love is lost, let's just find our way back to a forward fold. And a nice, easy forward fold. So I'm going to say feet at least hips width distance. And option to grab opposite elbows for ragdoll. Or let your palms face up. So if you have the mobility to bring your hands to the ground and turn your palms to face up, that might feel nice. So bend your knees if you need to. Bend them a lot. Slow down your breath. Ujjayi, bring it back. Okay, next time you breathe in, halfway lift position. Exhale, fold. Let your arms and your head hang completely heavy as you roll up. Super, super slow roll up to stand. The very top, your head stacks. And then take a few rolls with your shoulders up, back, and down. Exaggerate this movement. Shoulders up, back, and down. Pause. Palms open. So forward, receptive. Root through your feet, draw up through the crown of your head. Close your eyes. Feel your breath. Sense of grounding and spaciousness all at the same time. Focused and alert, calm and relaxed all at the same time. Next time you inhale, stay as you are, but fill up as big as you can. Hold, get bigger. Take up more space and open mouth sigh. Release. Drop into Ujjayi breath as you reach up. Inhale. Swan dive with your exhale. Traction out your spine. Fold in. Halfway lift. Breathe in. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step back to plank. Modify if you'd like. Inhale at the top of your push-up. Exhale, lower. Back bend of your choice. So whatever would feel good to you. Feel free to give yourself an extra couple breaths. And then just a child's pose. Child's or embryo. So for embryo, your arms reach back, palms face up, or you can grab your heels. And it might feel nice to rock your hips a little bit side to side or roll your forehead a little bit side to side. Very nice. In your next couple rounds, downward facing dog. From your down dog, inhale your right leg to the sky and go for it. Open up your hip if you want. So let it feel good. Give it a moment. When you're ready, pigeon pose. Right shin to the top of your mat. Set your body down gently. So guess what we do first in our pigeon? We find our connection to center. Same thing. Front hip pulls back. Back hip pulls forward. Tone your low belly. So this is what's called the integrity of the pose. Even in pigeon, find the integrity. Right hip keeps pulling back. It's like there's a rope attached to your right butt cheek, pulling up. The right hip back and up as your heart moves forward and down. Try to spread through your front toes. I mean, I'm wearing these ear pods, so like I did that little tiny burp. I don't know if you guys can hear it. Or like if I'm not using these little mics. I know you don't catch those things. So I feel so exposed. Just kidding. You guys are all nice, I know. So pigeon pose, and you're always welcome to take this in a seat or on your back if you'd rather. Give yourself about 5 more rounds. Sigh out your mouth at any time. Sometimes that open mouth sigh is such a good way to just reset your nervous system. It's such a good way to drop into your parasympathetic nervous system. Tell your body it's safe. It's okay to relax. Last couple breaths. And then let's slowly lift back up. Meet you in 3-legged dog. You can get there your own way, or you can come with me. So I'm just gonna plant my hands, spread my fingers, tug my back toes, take my right leg up and back, give it this nice little shake out. And then I'm gonna flip my dog. It's optional, so only do it if it works, if it feels right. Lift your hips, lift your heart. Couple rounds of breath in your back bend if you chose to take it. Eventually, everybody down dog. You can move through your own vinyasa. You can take a couple cat cows. Eventually down dog. Notice the difference between right side and left side. Inhale your left leg to the sky. Open up your hip. If you love it, stay for a few rounds. Whenever you're ready, pigeon, left shin forward, set your body down gently. Take your time to find that integrity. Plug the femur bones into the hip socket. So pull towards center line. Hug in. If you hear yoga teachers say hug in, I don't know, I feel like I heard a lot of yoga teachers say that. I never quite knew what they meant. It's hug towards that midline, find that connection to center. So you're hugging in first, finding that connection. And then from there, you expand out. You're moving from center, transitioning from that deepest place, that very center of you. Use your breath, use your exhale to find it every time. Bottom of your exhale. Where do you hold resistance? Where do you go when you're uncomfortable? Where do you, or how I should say, do you distract yourself? And just notice that here. See if you can consciously take deep breaths, relax your body, even as you feel a lot of sensation, intensity. So allowing yourself to feel intense feelings and still be able to take big, slow breaths and that sense of centeredness or groundedness, steadiness. Take about 3 to 5 more rounds. Open mouth sighs at any time, and I'm just gonna leave it up to you. So when you feel like you've pretty much been in pigeon for the same amount of time as you were on the other side, start your slow transition back to maybe 3-legged dog, or however you want to transition back to your down dog. So I'm gonna go for the 3-legged dog, give my left leg a little shake out, and then I'll flip it. Take a couple breaths in my back bend. Whatever feels right for you. So don't push it, don't force it. Forcing never works anyways. It doesn't do us any good. Meet yourself where you're at. And that's one of the hardest lessons to learn the hard way. So try to learn it the easy way. Don't force it. Make sure you can breathe. Eventually, back to down dog is your last down dog. So pedal out your heels, shift your weight around, feel and breathe into all that space and length we've created. Lift your hips, lift your butt. Feel that connection to center here one last time. Last big breath. And then set your knees down gently. Find your way onto your back all the way down. Once you're on your back, just draw your knees in for a moment. Find a gentle rock from side to side. Give your low back a little massage against the ground. And then set your feet on the ground with your knees bent. We're setting up for a bridge pose, but we're going to move into it really, really slowly. So rather than just popping up, slow down, take a pause, and listen really carefully to my cues. So feet on the ground with your knees bent, feet hips width distance apart, all 10 toes face directly forward. And your heels should come straight down from your knees. So a lot of times people have their heels way out in front of their knees. Make sure your heels are straight down from your knees. Toes face directly forward, arms down by your side. And we're just gonna work with our pelvis to begin with. So pelvic tilt is one of the most fascinating things for me. I think our pelvis is basically where our entire posture stems from, both up and down. So the more you start to notice, the more you start to notice. I don't know how else to say it. So exhale, and you're going to pull your belly button down and scoop your tailbone up. This is called a posterior pelvic tilt. Inhale, press your tailbone down and feel your low back lift. Your belly button lifts towards the sky. This is called an anterior pelvic tilt. Exhale, pull your belly button down, tuck your tailbone and scoop it up. And then switch. Inhale, tailbone towards the ground, low back lifts, belly button lifts. Don't overdo this too much. Go back and forth through these 2 pelvic tilts with your breath. Really feeling how it comes from your center. And there it is, right in the middle, right in that space between these 2 postures. There's that happy medium. And that's what we would call neutral. That's what we would ideally want to be in all the time. Neutral pelvis, neutral spine. It's really difficult for most people to stand in a neutral position, especially if you have no awareness. All right, so now we're going to take it next step. Exhale. Next time you exhale, your belly button draws down, your pelvis scoops up. Now, inhale, peel your spine off your mat. Imagine your spine is like a string of pearls. Peel it up one pearl at a time. When you get to the top of your bridge, check in with your feet. Make sure they're just hips-width distance apart and your toes are facing forward. You can stay here. This is a great place to stay. If you want to go a little bit further, explore more, come with me. Start to kind of shimmy your shoulders and work your shoulders underneath you so your chest lifts up. And then bring your arms to what I call robot arms. So just bend your elbows, palms face each other, fingertips face the sky. Your elbows are as close in towards your ribs as you can get them. So not out towards the sides of your mat, but closer in. Hug in with your inner thighs. Imagine you're squeezing an invisible yoga block. Press down through the back of your head. Lift your chin a little bit. Stay here if you want, or this is how we're going to find awareness of the mobility and strength in our mid back. It's some crazy stuff, you guys. All right, inhale here, hug your invisible block, press down into the backs of your elbows, back of your head. As you exhale, lower just your butt, lift your ribs higher like you're creating a tunnel underneath the middle of your spine. See if you can touch your butt to the ground, get as low as you can. Keep squeezing your invisible yoga block with your inner thighs. Inhale, lift back up. So coming back into bridge. Exhale, lower just your butt, making a bigger tunnel underneath your mid back. So it's like if I had a rolled up yoga mat and I wanted to slide it underneath the middle of your spine, you want to create space for that. Keep moving up and down in this way. If you don't have the mobility to bring your butt all the way down, just get as low as you can. You should feel something perhaps you've never even felt before in your mid back, maybe strength in your low back. Tomorrow, if you're sore in your back body, that's completely normal. A lot of people have no awareness and no strength in this part of their back. It's so postural. But if you can start to notice these things, your posture will change. All right, let's take one more lift, one more lower. End up back in a bridge pose. These are so hard. If you did 10 of these a day, your life would change. Preach. I'm preaching today. All right, everybody, work your shoulders out from underneath you, but stay in your bridge. Extend your arms straight up towards the sky, up towards the ceiling. Lift your hips. One more inhale. Like your spine is a string of pearls. Lower it one pearl at a time. Super, super, super slow. Once you're back in neutral, so feel neutral. Right there, that happy medium. Key out your arms. And just to be clear, neutral spine, your low back is slightly lifted away from the ground, just enough space to slide a little tiny grape underneath your low back. All right, feet on the ground with your knees bent, but bring your feet out wide to the width of your mat. And I'm gonna slide mine forward a little bit. Windshield wiper, side to side at your own pace. I love going slow. This can be one of the most therapeutic movements if you take it slow. And breathe down into your low back, your low belly, your hips. Back and forth a couple more times, and then end up with your knees over to either side. Well, let's just say, for cueing sake, to make it simple, take your knees over to the right and keep them there for 3 to 5 breaths. If you want, option to take the outer edge of your right foot to the outside of your left knee. And then use your right foot to encourage your left knee forward and down. Stay rooted through the backs of your shoulders. If your left rib cage lifts up a lot, have the intention of pressing down through the back of your left rib cage. Big, deep breath. See if you can feel your entire body expand and contract with your breath. Switch sides. And when you feel even on both sides, come back to a position with your feet on the ground and your knees bent, but your feet are really wide and your knees fall in. So for just a moment, knees in, feet wide. And I'm going to bring one hand to my heart, one hand to my belly. You can do whatever you want with your arm. This is called constructive rest pose. So just take some big Buddha belly breaths here for a moment. Happy baby pose. So knees to the outsides of your ribs, soles of your feet face the sky. Flex your toes, press up through your heels. In happy baby, our intention is to create a neutral spine. So most people round their back a lot. Ideally, we want to go for neutral. Flex your toes, even your little baby pinky toe, breathe. You can play if you want, extend, rock. And then from your happy baby, anywhere else you want to go, if your body's craving something, now is your time. Start a transition into your final relaxation. And if you want to get a blanket or anything to cover your eyes, please feel free. This is just a little thought for you. As you move into your Shavasana, this is by Jeff Brown. You cannot seek water from the one who drained your seas, and you cannot build a home for your worth inside of another being. The medicine is when you return to yourself, where you will remember your strength, reclaim your own rhythm, and write your own song. You cannot seek water from the one who drained your seas, and you cannot build a home for your worth inside of another being. The medicine is when you return to yourself, where you will remember your strength, reclaim your own rhythm, and write your own song. For these last few moments, just relax and surrender, returning more deeply into who you are, just underneath it all. A part of you that is steady and grounded, and at the same time spacious, able to hold it all. Shavasana. Take a deep breath in. Big sigh, let it go. Just bring gentle movement back to your fingers, toes. When you're ready, roll to either side, fetal position. Take a moment resting on your side. And then use your arms to guide yourself up into seated meditation. So right back where we started. Maybe little bits and pieces of movement as you settle into stillness. Close your eyes and gather your hands to your heart. Bow your head to your heart and just acknowledge yourself for taking time out of your day to tune in, to reconnect. Thank you so much for letting me guide you. Namaste. Thank you, friends. Sorry, I have a tendency to teach too long. What?
This is exactly why I love this class. Like that breakdown.
It was helpful?
Yes, dude.
Okay, good.
You can't do that in a regular yoga class.
Okay. I mean, some people like it. Some people are like, I just want to flow. Bye, Marlia.
Thank you.
I loved it.
Thank you. I'm happy. You always, like I said, Wendy, you just make me feel good. So thank you.
Oh, but you know,
me and Kim were talking about that. We're like, we need a Wendy like all the time with us, just like to make us feel good.
Oh my gosh. I seriously have, I feel like you guys have completely changed my life.
Well, you've been showing up. So it's you.
Well, when you were wearing your earbuds and you were saying, I feel so exposed. Oh my gosh. I can do a phone call with my earbuds in.
I know, right?
Like, oh my gosh. I'm so loud.
I know, like every little swallow. I'm like, oh, sorry. Did you hear that?
It's funny that you know that we don't hear it. I didn't know that.
You don't? Okay.
No.
I don't know. I'm never sure. And then I wonder, like, my earring sometimes keeps hitting this. You don't notice that? You don't hear that?
Don't hear it.
Okay. Okay. Good. I'm never quite sure. I love that you have your little galaxy projector light behind you.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't it just the best?
Where is
magical?
Right there. Okay. Yeah. I got that because of you.
Yeah, it's the best. I know, they're so just for meditation or something. So good. Okay, anyways, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes. Have a good day.
Love you, Wendy. You too.
Love you too. Okay,
bye.
bye.